Okay. Could you please introduce yourself and say a little bit about what you do?
I am Karen Vicks. I'm Nazareth's Title IX coordinator, and I am responsible for the prevention, education, outreach, and oversee any processes for sexual violence, sexual assault, dating violence, domestic violence, stalking, any of those gender discrimination components.
Okay. And could you tell us about your colleagues and the people who work with you and what they do?
In my office alone, I work with a graduate student intern in the higher ed program, and I also work closely with 3 deputy Title IX coordinators, Joellen Pinkham in Human Resources, Carrie Dunn in the School of Education, and Phil Steckley, who is one of the athletic trainers. And I also work very closely with campus safety.
Okay. And could you tell us what is Title IX and how can it affect students?
So Title IX is a civil rights statute, and it protects against gender discrimination in the academic setting. So the way I like to describe it, if you've been the victim of sexual assault, let's say, your educational environment is now affected. Let's say it was, you were out, it was someone, in your English class, and now you go to English class and you're in an environment with this person, and you may not want to go to class anymore, or you may skip class because now how do you sit in the class with someone who may have just assaulted you? Or let's say you live on the same floor with someone, how you may not want to get out of your bed, you may not want to take a shower anymore because you may run into that person. So we have a responsibility when we hear of the behavior to stop the behavior, prevent it from reoccurring, and remedy any effects, and that may include some interim measures. So let's say you are on the floor with someone, we can move that other person to a different floor, or if you're in a class, we can make adjustments with class schedules. So your educational environment, again, we need to protect because you came here to get an education, and we need to make sure that you are able to get that.
Okay, so what should a student do if they have a problem that they even think has something to do with Title IX?
So they can report it to any faculty or staff member. As a responsible employee, they have an obligation to report that information back to me. They can come directly to me, which I love when students, I want everyone to know that they can come directly to me at any time. We may not have had, may not have met before, but I have students come in all the time. They just walk in and, my door is always open. And, or they can send me an email. It can be 3:00 in the morning if they want. If that's the easiest way to kind of reach out to me at first, or call me and just say, I have a problem, or I have a situation that's come up and I'm hoping we can talk about it. And in which case we make an appointment, and because that's easiest, although I don't mind if anybody drops in, but that way it guarantees I'm here. And then we can talk about it. I give the student our policy, I give them a notification of their rights, and let them know if they have options. And that's the main thing. We go back to whatever it is that a victim or survivor in a case wants to do. If they want to pursue something, we can do that. If they want to go to the police, we can do that. If they don't want to do anything at all, we can do that as well. Under most circumstances, there are a few things that we would have to proceed anyway, but for the most case.
Okay, and in your opinion, how does the Title IX office help students to be successful?
Again, if your educational environment is affected, you're going to not be doing well in school. So if you're not going to English class, or you're not leaving your room because this person that you were involved with is there, you're not going to be able to be successful because you'll be skipping. And you may not just skip English class. It could be any other class, because you may run into that person while you're walking from Smith to Golisano, and you don't want to see that person. So, our goal is to make sure that you get that education that you came here for.
All right, and what's the most important thing you want students to know about the Title IX office?
That it is a safe place to come. It's a private place to report. That you're welcome to come in at any time. That I am, I will believe what you come in and you have to say. And this is a place that you should feel very comfortable being. So I hope that students do come in, and if they want to share, they have a friend. Sometimes people will come in and it's a friend that comes in for a friend. that it doesn't matter. You don't have to be the person that's, been directly affected. You can be indirectly affected, and it's okay to come in.
Are there any other resources on campus similar to the Title IX office or that the Title IX office works with?
Work very closely with Health and Counseling Services. So they are one of our confidential reporters. So information shared with Health and Counseling Services does not have to come over to me. I work closely with Center for Spirituality because that's a resource too. They do some pastoral care that works in a similar counseling style, or where people can feel where they can come and talk. I also, in Health and Counseling Services, once a week is Restore Sexual Assault Services, which is one of our off-campus resources, but they do come on once a week, and they are also confidential resource too. And then, of course, I work closely with Res Life, Campus Safety, Diversity and Inclusion.
Okay, and then I know you touched on it before, but just lastly, to clarify, how can students reach out to the Title IX office? What are the different ways?
Sure, they can come in. I'm in 100 Schultz Center, which is the entrance by the Echo Circle. If my door is open, come on in. If not, leave a note. I can get an email, kvix8@nas.edu, and you can look that up in the directory if you didn't get that quick enough. But or a phone, 389-2877.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.